to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku and I'm joined by my co-host in person of Ifoma Oji. Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm very well.
Thank you.
Not perfect though.
But you are
Yes,
fine.
I'm fine.
All right, we're also joined via Zoom by our analyst in person of Maxwell Okoma. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon, and thank you for having me.
You're
You're welcome.
welcome. All right, so we're going straight to the two stories that we have for today. So Tinubu administration's infographics on infrastructure, riddled with misleading stats and deleted posts, now fueling suspicion of propaganda instead of progress. And on the second story in Suleja, where people desperate for relief broke into and looted distribution points meant to help them. Now, so let's start with the first story, okay? Tinubu's special media aide came out to make a post about a chart that I want us to take a look at, citing the projects that the administration has been able to carry out across all regions in Nigeria. The Northwest, the Northeast, South-South, Southwest, Southeast. And in a now deleted post, a lot of people came out to react to this particular post. But we'll take a quick look at the comments before I ask my questions.
Okay. Apex says the same people will still sell their vote for 2K.
This one is talking about the Suleja's case and
Yes.
how people that came out to steal or to loot these relief funds would still go out to sell their votes.
Yeah.
But talking about this Tinubu's case and the issue with the deleted post, I wanted to ask you, what does this say about transparency when it concerns the Nigerian government and how they handle data and how they are open about it? Let me just start with you.
There's nothing here that has to do with transparency. There is no T, talk more of R, in whatever we are seeing in this government or in the governance of late, especially this 2025. There's nothing like transparency. These people, they will tell you, if you look at the infographic, you will see that he said they are not leaving anybody behind, that everybody is
Yes.
included. It is quite sad that we are seeing the receipts, we are seeing the picture, we are seeing the numbers, we are seeing how much is being allocated to the southwest regions, and we are seeing how much is being allocated to the southeast and south. So you're telling us that everybody is included. The southwest runs, the money allocated to them runs in trillions. Check southeast, you see it runs in just billions. Is it not just south, like we are seeing something like
2 point something trillion?
Yeah, 2 point something
The other one
trillion.
is over 5 point something
It
trillion.
is quite sad, and these people, it pains me that they're actually seeing us as fools. You release something and then you delete it afterwards. They, of course, I know most definitely that they saw that. I mean, they
The
know
reaction.
that some people, no, they know that some people are definitely going to carry this. So it's more like looking like maybe they want to be transparent. Let them play that transparency game. And this is not anything concerning transparency. There is nothing transparent about the whole situation. So the way we go about data in this country is quite bad. And the president, it keeps on repeating itself every single time. This whole thing keeps on going on and on. You will feel as if they are bringing the youth or the masses in whatever they are doing, but at the same time they are not right. It's quite sad.
Now, I don't know, but let me ask you, Maxwell, why would an official handle of the president of Nigeria post inflated numbers only to now delete them later? I mean, do you think there's an agenda here?
This just goes to show the failure of the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. We have the NBS, which should be responsible for feeding Nigerians with, proper data and statistics as to the happenings within the country, whether they relate to infrastructure, how our budgets or the money is allocated for the budgets are being expended. But what we are seeing is the presidency of its own accord trying to save face. And the only reason why we could have inflated data or wrong data flying around is the fact that the Tinubu-led administration, and I dare say the APC-led government, since its inception in 2015, has only been interested in deceiving the general public. I hope you know that this is just one of its many, wrong data out there. You recall that prior to the elections, Peter Obi tried to give analysis on data and how Nigeria can do better, and he was called a trader by this same Bola Tinubu. So it's unfortunate that we have this wrong data flying around. Like you have mentioned, there are a lot of things that are wrong about it, and they deliberately excluded the numbers of Lagos State.
Yes.
Tinubu has shown his lopsided style of government with his patronizing Lagos State, the Southwest, basically, in appointments, in infrastructure, in healthcare, name it, if at all he's doing any healthcare. And like I said, it's the stock in trade of the APC. You remember the Hadi Sirika scam that we saw with the Nigerian Air, which during the time of Buhari, we saw that with the same APC, we've seen unfulfilled 2015 campaign promises, 2019 campaign promises, 2023 campaign promises. All of these things, still, they are just basically a mirage. And that is the only reason why we can get this inflated data, just for them to save face, because as we speak, the Naira is dwindling, the economy is dying off, the unemployment rate keeps rising, inflation rate, of course, we know it has exceeded double digits for a long time, and it is still flying up. How much does the Naira exchange with the dollar today in the market? Businesses can no longer survive. I hope that you're also aware that the CAC is also thinking about increasing the cost of registering businesses. And these businesses do not have light even to thrive. So even where you are able to pay for light, you don't get it. So it is only on this basis that the APC, like somebody pointed out there, that one of the roads, which was supposed to be about 15 kilometers, it was inflated to be 156 kilometers. So you can imagine that the government has given out a contract for about 156 kilometers. Meanwhile, the road in itself is just 15 kilometers. So it begs for several questions and answers. That's who is receiving these monies,
who are the contractors,
who is checkmating these projects, and many more.
Thank you very much, Maxwell. But I also have another question concerning this transparency. Now, do you think that with this selective disclosure that we have just seen now, that it would be able, do you think it would affect public's reliability on the government to provide or profile accurate data as it concerns Nigeria and how our revenue is being spent?
You can see clearly that the data that they provided does not provide any tangible, what should I call it? The data is inflated. It's not even the right data. Just like the road. Somebody commented that it was supposed to be 15 kilometer, but it was increased to 175 or thereabout. And you could see that over the years, the public have lost, confidence and trust in the government. So if asking me if this is actually going to, restore
affect public's,
affect it has definitely done that, because the narratives has spread. People already criticizing the government. They are actually seeking clarity. You understand? Because it does not match up. The figures, the numbers, it does not match up. So they really need to be cleared on this particular, thing.
All right, thank you so much, Ifoma. I hear you loud and clear. There is no way we would see something like this and would expect Nigerians not to have distrust as it concerns our government. But on to the next question now. So some fact checker groups say the figures on trade balance, oil production, foreign investments were exaggerated, you understand, when we saw that, that story, the post about the things that the government has done. Now, do you think that these distortions are going to change policies or just citizens' expectations? How do you think now is going to influence citizens' expectations and general policies?
People are definitely, like I said earlier, people are definitely not going to be relying on, the government or its policies. You understand? Because we could see clearly what happened, or the figures that we have posted. So people are definitely not going to keep on counting on these people to provide accurate data or even clear them.
All right. Now, to you, Maxwell, we've seen what has happened. Now, what do you think are the mechanisms that should be in place or should exist to verify government project details like contract amounts, timelines, and contractors moving forward?
If you're asking, I can only call on the private individuals to do their homework a bit more, because of course a lot of people are doing so much out there, and I must commend them. And I think that this is where civil society groups, non-governmental agencies need to come into play to hold the government accountable.
Yes.
The best office, the best person to hold the government accountable is the people. You must, wield the power of the people and hold government accountable, because if we continue to rely on government themselves, even the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics that I mentioned is also a parastatal of government. So it's an agency of the same executive arm. And of course, we know that in time past, there have been allegations of inflated figures, with the APC padded budget, inflated figures. They promised us 7,000, over 700,000 jobs. We've not seen them. They promised stipends to youths. We've not seen it. A whole lot, a whole lot. So I think that we must go back to the drawing board. Private individuals must realize that they are in the best position to hold the government accountable, because as it stands, the APC have, I don't want to say successfully, but I think that the APC has gone a long way to capture a lot of spheres, a lot of aspects of government. So we don't get the dividends of governance that we are supposed to be receiving. The people, that is why we have several arms. We have the legislature and the judiciary to hold the executive responsible for these things. But today, the legislature is a rubber stamp. Whatever is asked of the executive, the Obot Akpabio-led Senate and the House of Representatives grants it to him. In fact, it's as bad as the fact that even state houses of assembly now do the biddings of the federal executive. We saw how the APC undermined democracy and insulted our constitution by declaring state of emergency due to a feud, due to a problem between the legislative arm and the executive arm of Rivers State. So a whole lot of the parts of government, aspects of government today in Nigeria, compromise, it has been overtaken by this executive. So I think that individuals must rise up to the task and begin to do what is necessary.
Oh, thank you. But just to add to that, I want to get your opinion. Do you think with the way they handled the situation, going ahead to delete this post, do you think that that was damage control enough? And do you think that this is signaling somehow that misleading informations are okay until they are made public or until they are exposed?
It's good that they've taken a step to even delete it. It's messier when they continue to leave wrong information out in the public, but it's good that they've been able to delete it. If they see it as damage control, fine. The APC is interested in damage control rather than, doing the right and proper things. And this is one of the problems I've had over time with the APC government, because they are not interested in giving people the benefit of governance. So what they do is anything that they present, if the people kick back, they try to take a step backward before deciding about it. But it doesn't really, and Tinubu, for a person, does whatever he feels is okay for him. Remember the whole saga with the fuel price, and still today, pump price is still over 1,000 naira in many places across Nigeria. So if we must speak before they would do certain things correctly, I think that we should continue to amplify our voice. But this is not what should be expected of governance. if they cannot do what is proper without the people, then there is a problem. There is a leadership deficit in Nigeria, because if you have been elected to a place of office, to an office to lead the people, it is expected that whatever you do there should be a barest minimum, a benchmark to say that when we decided to do this, we had the people in mind. Until today, we still have the people in mind. But we don't see that with the Tinubu-led governments. It doesn't happen. So when we complain, they tend to take a step back. Remember that they will still send their attack dogs on social media, on several forums, even to attack people who are, holding the government accountable. So if this is damage control to them, I really don't care. I care about the fact that people are able to do their personal research and hold government accountable. And it should not end on social media spaces, because there is a lot of misinformation going around. The National Orientation Agency is still a parastatal, an agency of government, is not doing its bit. We have a Ministry of Communication, which I feel is so redundant and should not exist. What are they communicating to the people? Many of the information out there, we get it even before they come out to talk about it. So these are some of the problems, and I think that we must continue to speak. If it means this is the only thing that will make this APC government to sit up and do things properly, until we are able to entrench a proper leadership, a proper government that will move Nigeria from the point it is to where it needs to be.
Yes, thank you so much, Maxwell. I like the fact that, yes, that you mentioned the fact that until we're able to get to that point where we can entrench good leadership in Nigeria. To add to when you were answering, I want you to add to that. Now with citizens facing hunger, hardships, unimaginable hardships in the country, and with the statistics, if this is the statistics that the federal government has, do you think it is fair enough to for them, do you think it's insensitive for them to ignore the grassroots reality, but they have the statistics? Because they are saying that they have helped us with over 1,000 public health facilities and public health centers, and the plants and the oil and the gas and the roads and all of that. Do you think that it is fair on the average Nigerian to have these different statistics for what is happening in the grassroots level?
It is extremely unfair and insensitive of them, because the next story, I think we were talking about...
Yes, it's the same hunger.
The same hunger. So you're releasing something like this, releasing this statistics, and it does not actually reflect how Nigerians are living daily. They're talking about electricity, that it has improved. My dear, me and you, we know they get 24 hours light for our house.
Exactly.
We know how much the cost, food what is it called? Foodstuffs cost in the market. We know how much all this is. We know how much we pay for transportation. We know all these things. So coming to release something like this, and you're kind of trying to make us feel like you are working when you are not working, I feel like it's kind of insensitive. It's so insensitive of them. Then I wanted to add something to the question you asked Maxwell earlier about, he mentioned something about deleting the post that it was actually a good damage control. I actually feel like that post shouldn't have been deleted. Rather, it should have been, they should have defended it.
Defended?
Yes, because for them to post it in the first place is to kind of display how transparent and accountable they are.
What if they made a mistake and just,
how can that kind of mistake?
Because even a blind man can see that those are inflated
apart
prices.
from that, what I'm trying to say there is that if they are saying that they are transparent, or they want to show how accountable they can be, why don't the PR defend those figures that we are seeing there, so that Nigerians, and both Nigerians are inside and outside, and even investors, because what he made it look like was like, okay, everything is going well in our economy, and it's kind of going to make investors, throw pain.
Yes, exactly.
It's not the same thing. So if you feel and you want people to invest into our economy, explain to them. Let us get the
I feel like everybody knows the truth.
Exactly.
and maybe, I don't know for what reason that was posted, or I don't know if the initial reaction that they got to that post, or they were not expecting Nigerians to be that smart, because sometimes I don't think these politicians rate us so much. So maybe that's that. But you said something that I want us to link to the next story. It's about hunger, and how Nigerians, and how we as Nigerians are hungry, they are malnourished, and they're impoverished. And this situation at Suleja, where the relief that was supposed to be distributed orderly turned into chaos and had people looting those same reliefs that were meant for them. I just wanted to ask, what does this say about the structure when it concerns, I'll start with you, Maxwell, the structure when it concerns distributing relief materials, or just help to the public, or just palliatives in general?
My question back to you is, why are we giving relief to people in today's Nigeria in 2025? So the problem is that Nigerians, citizens rightly so called, under the Constitution of Nigeria, have become displaced. They have become IDPs,
yes, in their own countries.
And by IDP, I'm talking about IDP properly so called as a result of displacement, either from insecurity, kidnapping, or whatever the case may be. And IDP in the sense of the suffering that citizens of Nigeria have been made go through under the Tinubu government. You see, we have all become IDPs. I say this without fear or favor, because a lot of people have been thrown below the poverty line. A lot of people cannot afford to live on $1 per day. That is about 1,500 naira.
Yes.
Just to use that figure. So that is why we have the government, who of course have looted majority of the funds. So they now map out some set of it as a way of goodwill, in quotes, to the people, and call it relief. So this is my problem with it. Before I come down to the entire issue of the stampede and all of that, in time past, we've seen how these relief materials have led to the death of people. You remember the last one that happened prior to elections. And you remember the politician who stacked up relief materials in her home to be shared during campaign. So these are the issues in Nigeria here, when politicians do not do what they need to do or what they are supposed to do. You cannot control people that are suffering.
Yeah.
You can't. You would hear the government now come to blame these people, blame their inability to abide by the rule of law, when the politicians themselves don't operate in accordance with the prescriptions of the law. So these are the issues. If they cannot solve security problems, if they cannot solve the hunger problems, if they cannot solve unemployment problems, people will continue looking for where food are stuck. My worry is about private individuals who have their businesses that may be looted when these things happen. So it is a problem that must be fixed. What we saw there should not be seen happening to the most populous black nation that is called the giant of Africa.
You know, some people asked if we are still the giants of Africa. Some people are asking that question. But at this point, will you call it theft when hungry people react, as we have seen in Suleja? Do you think this is theft, in your opinion? Obviously, they stole the relief materials, but do you think this was theft or a symptom of desperation and failed governance?
I mean, these people acted this way because they don't have alternative. These people acted because the system is not treating them better. They acted because, I mean, they can't even leave the country. You know how much visa is right now. So I mean,
can they even leave their states? Can they leave? Exactly. Can they afford transport in their states?
So I am not faulting them. I'm not blaming them. Rather, I'm actually blaming the system, because if everything is all right, these people know that what they are actually doing right now is wrong. They know that it's wrong. But what would you have them do? What would you have them do? A lot of them have families to cater for. A lot of them are single parents. So when they see this kind of opportunity, definitely everybody will jump Yes, no.
I can see a video of them literally jumping fences with
Yes.
these relief materials, and
Yes.
it's quite funny. But I would love us to take, even if maybe just 3 comments from X on the matter. Although says, I don't get, is the relief materials not for the hungry residents? Who else is the relief materials for? So he's trying to say that the people that it was meant for still
Yes.
got it at the end of the day. Chris is saying that's to show you the level of poverty in that state. And yet, okay, call them some names, and yet those people came together to murder an innocent food seller for blasphemy, when they should come together to stop their incompetent government so that they can enjoy good living. That's the sad thing, that these are the people that will still come out to fight against good governance. This video is a clear example of how poorly planned relief efforts lead to chaos and disorder. Instead of a structured distribution, it turned into a free-for-all, showing a lack of respect for the very people it's meant to help. We're going to take the next comment, because I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that at the end of the day, the structures were not put in place, and they were not measures to ensure that this was treated accordingly or shared appropriately. Okay, now this comment says the same people will still sell their votes for 2,000 naira. And that is the sad truth, because there is still the case of vote buying in Nigeria. We cannot deny that fact. With the elections that we have seen, we saw the other day in the north, someone that had 25 point something million naira that was ready to share it amongst people that are still selling their votes in 2025. With all this type of with the level of suffering that Nigerians have been subjected to. But now, so concerning the same issue, I'm going to start with Mr. Maxwell. They said that security personnel were deployed to that place where they were sharing these relief materials, and for some reasons, they were still not able to maintain order. So what does this say about preparedness? I mean, there were security personnel there, there was no order. It doesn't tally. How come?
Well, our security operatives, well, I will give them a degree of credit to the genuine ones, of course, to
Yes,
some of
of
the
course.
work that they've been doing to ensure that, we entrench peace as a sovereign nation. But it's there's no gainsaying the level at which our security operatives are in Nigeria is poor. They have poor training, they have poor enlightenment, they don't know how to relate properly with civilians, and this is one of the problems with security operatives to interface properly with the crowd. You see how they interface whenever people want to protest.
Yes.
They interface whenever there are stampedes or things. So they even tend to interfere with civil. You hear landlord and tenant issues, and you see police, and these have led to several deaths. Well, they call it what do they call it again? Mistaken discharge or whatever it's called. They need to be trained properly and enlightened on how to address civil concerns, civil unrest. So by the time we have a proper police force, a proper civil defense force, a proper military force, you'll see that some of these issues will die off, in no time. They will actually die off in no time. So, but then again, I must not fail to point out the fact that we have a lot of hungry people. How do you control hungry people? How do you do that? I told you earlier that a lot of people are way into this poverty, frame. And how do you tell them not to go for food when that is the only thing that can basically keep them alive? So they'll rather die to the bullet of the gun than not to get something to eat. Like we say in the Nigerian parlance, all die now die. So whether you die by the bullet or you die by hunger, it's still you dying off. So that is why you can see this. Remember also that these same police officers and security operatives in the past have been seen also joining in looting, looting these relief materials. It always happens, in fact, that whenever they go there, some of them still find a way to throw one bag of rice or one bag of beans into their vans. So it's difficult to handle these situations, but the government can do better so that we don't even need to send security operatives. Treat your people properly, put in measures, policies, laws, and the rest that can help build the people and their livelihood, and we won't have to suffer this.
All right, thank you. So what you're saying is for us to treat our people properly, like you just said, the government and Nigerian people, and also to train the security personnel and operatives so that we can, you know, prevent this from happening. But in your own opinion, how do you think that we can prevent such occurrences from happening?
Okay, I'll first of all applaud. The thoughts alone to relieve people of hunger is actually quite commendable. But at the same time, I think those people that actually kind of send this palliative or give this distribute this palliative to to Nigerians should actually plan smarter. I mean, they should be in communicado with, I mean, the people, the community leaders in all these communities to at least know how many persons need help.
Yes, okay.
Register them.
Take data.
Yes, register them so that when you come, you can easily call out their names and then hand over this to them. I mean, it should be orderly. And at the end of the day, if the whole distribution process was successful, they should equally upload it so that people will know, okay, these are how many persons
Yes.
received.
You know,
this
Nigerians don't
information.
take data seriously.
Yes, data is very, very important.
It's very
Let
important.
them know how many people received this, and I mean,
Keep tabs on them as well.
Yes, exactly. So
I get you. I hear you clearly. And it's something that has really boggled my mind, the fact that we play with data. And it's not supposed to be so. How can you run a nation as large as this with the number of people that are in Nigeria with our population and we don't have data? It's really crazy. But thank you so much, Ifoma Oji, for doing this with me. Thank you, Maxwell, for as well joining us on the show. It's always a pleasure. Thank you both so much. And to our VIP viewers, you're welcome. To our VIP viewers, remember that the comment section is yours. Please share your comments and thoughts. And if you've not followed us, do so at Active Citizens across all social media. And you, what's your active?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miselex.
And you can find me at Sharon Enem Chuku. Till we see you tomorrow, do have a good evening.